I loved being in the seminary. There were about 80 students and over 20 Salesian priests and brothers on the staff at the time. We prayed, ate, studied, worked, and recreated together every day. It was truly a like-minded and caring community. I learned the faith, was formed spiritually, and became an educator in the pedagogy of St. John Bosco. As I mentioned in my 13th reflection, my friendship with Brother Gene Burns, my high school band director, was a strong impetus for my joining the Salesians. I hoped to return to the Tech after seminary and be trained by him to take over as band director. During novitiate, I learned that would never happen. After 25 years as a Salesian, he decided to leave religious life. As you can imagine, it caused me to do some deep soul searching. I was only a couple of months away from deciding whether or not to take my first vows, and I was forced to examine my motivations for doing so. Was I really called by God? Was I there just to please my mother? Was I merely fulfilling my own desires? Was it a combination of all three of these? I'm sad to say that at 19, I was too immature to take these questions to spiritual direction, or even to serious prayer, and I tried to answer them on my own. Ultimately, I was too afraid to face the possible consequences that might occur if I left, so I decided to take temporary vows for 3 years to give me time to figure it out. I had 2 more years left in the seminary before I graduated, and would have the experience of working in a Salesian school for a year before I had to decide whether or not to renew my vows. As you have most likely figured out, I decided not to renew my vows and eventually married and had 3 children. I'll explain why in my next reflection. I have never regretted the time I spent in the seminary or in religious life. It has proven to be a very solid foundation for everything else in my life. In fact, I went to the seminary for a second time, but more on that later.